Hello class, in this video we shall discuss the important dialogues and questions of Othello. So the first dialogue spoken by Othello: rude am I in my speech and little blessed with a soft phrase of peace. In this dialogue, Othello speaks that I, I am a skilled soldier, but I am not a skilled एलिगेंट स्पीकर, कि मैं सोल्जर तो बहुत अच्छा हूं लेकिन मैं बोलने में इतना अच्छा नहीं हूं. Second dialogue, also spoken by Othello: she loved me for the dangers I had passed, and I loved her that she did pity them. This dialogue is spoken by Othello at the time of the case, which was taken by the father of Desdemona in the court of Duke of Venice. So Othello speaks in his explanation that कि जो ये डेस्डिमोना है वो मुझे इसलिए प्यार करती है क्योंकि मैं एक अच्छा सोल्जर हूं, एंड शी लव्स माय एडवेंचर, एंड शी took pity on my adventures. I did not seduce your daughter by any necromancy, कि मैंने किसी जादू टोने से तुम्हारी बेटी को नहीं फंसाया है, वो तो केवल मेरे एडवेंचर्स को पसंद करने लगी थी, इसलिए उसे मुझसे प्यार हुआ. Third, blessed figs and the wine she drinks is made of grapes. This dialogue is spoken by Iago for the purity of Desdemona. He speaks that Desdemona is no any divine lady or different from any other woman. She is extremely simple and worldly woman. Next, oh beware, my lord, of jealousy, it is green-eyed monster which doth mock the meat it feeds on. This dialogue is extremely important, and this dialogue is spoken by Iago before Othello, when Iago starts planting the seeds of jealousy and suspicion in the mind and heart of Othello. He says that he calls Desdemona the green-eyed monster which doth mock, कि जो ये डेस्डिमोना है वो एक मॉन्स्टर है, बिकॉज द आईज ऑफ डेस्डिमोना वर green-eyed, and who has tendency to betray any person, and she did not spare her father in betraying, so she will not be able to spare you, तो वो तुम्हें भी नहीं बख्शेगी. नेक्स्ट जो डायलॉग है: trifles light as air are to be jealous confirmations strong as proof of holy writ. This dialogue is spoken by Iago. He says that even smallest evidence to a weak-minded person will be as sacred truth, कि एक कमजोर दिमाग के आदमी के सामने हल्का प्रूफ भी बहुत स्ट्रॉन्ग एविडेंस हो सकता है. Excellent wretch, perdition catch my soul, but I do love thee, and when I love thee not, chaos is come again. This dialogue is spoken by Othello when he was in love with Desdemona, and he was having courtship with Desdemona when they were not married. So he says that your intense love for me is my life, but if you but if you but if you do not accept my love, my whole world will dashed into chaos. But I do I but I do think it is their husband's fault if wives do fall. This dialogue is spoken by Amelia. She says that अगर अगर पत्नी कुछ अपने हस्बैंड को नेग्लेक्ट करती है या उसको धोखा देती है तो वो कमी उसके हस्बैंड की होती है, ना कि उस महिला की. सो दिस डायलॉग इज स्पोकन बाय एमिलिया. Yet she must die else she will betray more men. And this dialogue is spoken by Othello at the time of murdering his wife Desdemona. And Othello convinces his act of murdering his wife that her death is justified because he is protecting other men. It's so this action is for the welfare of other men. कि अगर मैंने अपनी पत्नी को नहीं मारा तो मेरी पत्नी और किसी को भी धोखा दे देगी, इसलिए ये जो मेरा काम है ये मेरा एक नोबल एक्शन है, यानी कि एक नेक काम है. तो अगर मैं अपनी पत्नी को मैं मार रहा हूं सो इट्स माय नोबल एक्शन, ये मेरा नेक काम है. इट्स नॉट क्राइम, ये कोई क्राइम नहीं है. नेक्स्ट, then must you speak of one that loved not wisely but too well. This another is most important dialogue is spoken by Othello. When he murdered his wife, he speaks his final speech, which is spoken before the other uh, before the other Venetians. He says that, please remember me, and the people of the world will speak about me that I am the one person who loves eternally my wife but could not love my wife wisely. कि मैंने अपनी पत्नी को प्यार तो बहुत किया लेकिन मैंने अपनी पत्नी को वाइजली यानी कि दिमाग से प्यार नहीं किया. मैं हल्के से में ही किसी के बहकावे में आ गया और मैंने अपनी पत्नी को मार दिया. I am not what I am. This dialogue is written in the Bible, but Iago speaks the opposite of the word. In the Bible, it is written, I am that I am, but Iago reverses the line which applied to himself. I am not what I am. Men should be what they seem, or those that be not would they might seem none. The speaker of this dialogue is Iago, is spoken with irony. Iago suggests honesty, but he himself is most dishonest person. 13. This fellow of exceeding honesty and knows all qualities with a learned spirit of human dealings. He says, Othello speaks this dialogue about Iago when Iago was in full trust of Othello and Othello was in the clutch of Iago, and when he was the victim of the tricks and treacheries of Iago. He says that Iago is the most honest person and most learned spirit of human dealings. O thou with who art so lovely, fair, and smallest to sweet, that the sense acts at thee would thou hadst never be born. This dialogue is spoken to Desdemona by Othello. So, because he compares his wife to a poisonous flower, a poisonous weed, that was extremely beautiful, but poisonous as well. कि वो अपनी पत्नी की जो तारीफ है और कंपैरिजन है वो एक ऐसे फूल से करता है जो खूबसूरत तो होता है लेकिन बड़ा जहरीला होता है. It is the cause, my soul. This dialogue is spoken by Othello before killing Desdemona. He says that the crime of murdering my wife is the noble cause, which I told you earlier. That if I am murdering my wife, so it is the noble cause. Here, cause means noble cause. Here, cause means noble cause. So, it is the noble cause, and I am protecting other human beings of society if I am murdering my wife. But Desdemona, while she was being murdered, she says to her husband, "Nobody, I myself farewell, I and commend me to my kind Lord." She did not have any kind of complaint towards his husband, and she speaks so softly to her husband at the time of being murdered. She says that I myself farewell, command me to my kind Lord, जो तुम्हारी इच्छा हो मेरे husband. So this proves that Desdemona was extremely soft and pious spirit. Demand me nothing what you know from this time forth I will never speak word. Now when Iago kills his wife Emilia, and when he was arrested, Iago pledges and refuses to accept his guilt, accept his treacheries, and accept his crime. Demand me nothing but you know, and he also refuses to accept his motives behind the whole plot and behind the whole conspiracy against Othello and his wife. Where a malignant and turban Turk beat a Venetian and traduced the state, I took the thought, the circumcised dog, and smote him thus. In this final speech, Othello compares himself to an outsider, just like Turkey's, who was attacking the Cyprus. So he is comparing himself to the enemy of Venice in this dialogue. Now let's move on. The important questions of Othello. The first question is, the famous phrase motiveless malignity used to describe Iago was coined by. I have told you earlier when I was dealing with the summary and plot of the play. St. Coleridge. The answer is St. Coleridge. Put money in thy purse is a repeated line spoken by Iago. This line is spoken by Iago repeatedly. The handkerchief in Othello is a symbol of Othello's heritage and Desdemona's fidelity. मैंने अभी आपको ये बताया कि ओथेलो को जो वो रुमाल था वो उसकी माँ ने दिया था, और उसकी माँ ने उसको जो वो रुमाल था वो दिया था एक इजिप्शियन एक नेक्रोमेंसर औरत ने, यानी कि एक औरत ने जो जादू टोना कुछ जानती थी. एंड द हैंकरचीफ इज आल्सो सिंबल ऑफ डेस्डेमोनाज फाइडेलिटी, यानी कि डेस्डिमोना का जो एंड व्हाट इज द मीनिंग ऑफ फाइडेलिटी, लॉयल्टी, यानी कि वफा, हिंदी में बोलते हैं कि वफा। द हैंकरचीफ इन ओथेलो इज ए सिंबल ऑफ, ये तो बिल्कुल दोबारा आ गया। नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन, which character says, oh beware my lord of jealousy, it is a green-eyed monster which don't mock the meat it feeds upon? You must have known this question. Iago. Who says that? Iago. Who is called the ancient in Othello? Iago. Which critic described Othello as domestic tragedy? A.C. Bradley. A.C. Bradley described Othello as a domestic tragedy. F.R. Leavis criticized Othello as an egotistical self-dramatizer. Egotistical means who speaks about himself only. Next question, which play of Shakespeare shares with Othello the theme of honest villainy, where a character deceives other by seeming trustworthy? Hamlet's character Claudius, जो अपने आप को ऐसा दिखाता है कि मैं बहुत नेक इंसान हूं, लेकिन वो अंदर से बहुत खतरनाक होता है। Which character function as Othello's dramatic foil, highlighting Othello's rashness through contrast? कौन सा कैरेक्टर ओथेलो में ओथेलो का बिल्कुल अपोजिट है, बिल्कुल कंट्रास्ट है? कैशियो। ओथेलो बहुत जल्दी में रहता है, बहुत की रशनेस में रहता है, लेकिन जो कैशियो है वो बहुत पेशेंट। Cyprus setting in Othello primarily symbolizes liminal space of chaos and passion. Main actions of the play takes place in Cyprus, not in Venice. So, Cyprus is the symbol of space of chaos and passion. In Othello's Emilia's final speech exposes injustice of women's subordination. जो एमिलिया की जो फाइनल स्पीच है वो ये बताती है कि महिलाओं के साथ अत्यधिक अन्याय होता है। The handkerchief in Othello is first described as, ये क्वेश्चन तो भी याद है, which structural feature makes Othello unique among Shakespeare's tragedy? कौन सा फीचर ओथेलो का शेक्सपियर की यूनिक ट्रेजेडी, इट मींस ओथेलो, कौन सा ऐसा फीचर है ओथेलो में जो इसको शेक्सपियर की यूनिक ट्रेजेडी ये बताता है? The action moves rapidly with no divisionary subplot. The answer is no subplot, और जो एक्शन है वो बहुत swiftly आगे जाते हैं। What does Iago mean when he says our bodies are gardens to which our wills are gardeners? This dialogue is spoken by Iago. He says that the free will and self-control shape our human nature. It means our willpower shape our future. The play begins in medias res. This is a Latin word, and the meaning of the word is in between. बीच में. So medias res, जो ये प्ले है वो कहां से शुरू होता है? तो ये प्ले बीच में से शुरू होता है। if you have remembered that, The play starts when Iago and Rodrigo when Iago and Rodrigo were talking to each other about Othello. Who delivers the final judgment at the end of Othello? Lodovico. The contrast between Desdemona's purity and Iago's corruption exemplifies which Renaissance theme: appearance and reality. In his last speech, Othello compares himself to base Indian who threw away a pearl richer than all his tribe. Please don't misunderstand the word Indian to our country. Here, Indian means the citizen of North Africa who used to be slave in Venice and who used to live in a tribe. So don't misunderstand and don't be confused with this word Indian. Here, Indian means native of North Africa who used to be taken from North Africa as a slave in Venice. And after this, these people were taken to America, sorry, initially Europe and after America. Which feminist critic emphasizes that? कौन सी फेमिनिस्ट क्रिटिक इस बात पर जोर देती है कि डेस्डिमोना की जो मौत है इस सिंबॉलिक, वो एक सिंबॉलिक है ऑफ साइलेंसिंग ऑफ वुमेन, कि औरत को चुप कर देना इस पितृसत्तात्मक सिस्टम में। तो ये जो डायलॉग, तो ये जो फेमिनिस्ट है वो है Elaine Showalter. She is American feminist critic. I hope you must have enjoyed all the questions and dialogues of the video. So thanks as for now, and we shall meet again in next video, in which we shall deal with comedy of Shakespeare. The first comedy is As You Like It. Bye bye.